we're on south of Paris, south of Versailles, and I'm going to show you a project that we have started 6 years ago, exactly, which in this weekend will be an anniversary. It comes from an idea of making an old orchard back to life. So everything in green in the screen that you see is what we have seen so far with you in the topics you have been showing. And I'm going to concentrate my presentation to community setting and training people. I mean, you're going to see more people than trees in my presentation. So who I am an architect, and I've been working lately as a state urban architect after international life on big projects like Disneyland and other things like that. And the more I was growing in my life, the more I realized that architecture had a feeling and a meaning only if it was combined with landscape. That's why 15 years ago, during my work, I went back to school and I did a landscape diploma and a school of trimming and growing fruit trees at Versailles, at Potager du Roi de Versailles. And I have to name my two teachers, Jacques Becaleto and François Moulin. They were the two gardeners of Le Potager du Roi at Versailles, which is the biggest orchard in France. So they have been my teacher, they are my masters, and that they have really given to me the willing to follow. And I'm retiring since 3 years, but 6 years ago, I have started this project, and I'm going to show you how you can dream and start a project like this. So the meaning of this project, as I was knowing very well the area here and the Vallée, I knew there had been a lot of old orchard. So I wanted to try to get a land. This is the most difficult thing if you're not a private, if you're an association, is to find a place and make sure that the municipality is going to let you go. So especially if you're in a protected area, which was the case with the area protected, it was a natural area, and we had to deal with a lot of different authority to get through. But the main thing was to do something together with citizens. You know, I couldn't do anything alone. So there was two things to try to do: is convince the municipality and the authority, and to get people to understand the common visions that we had to redo this orchard. So the local context in town was interesting because this town where we live in Saint-Rémy-les-Chevreuses was a village with a lot of orchard, and most of them disappeared through the years. And in 2008, we still had quince trees in the middle of streets, and to build a bike trail, I mean, they had to cut those trees in the middle of the street just so the bikes could go through. And that was a shock for a lot of people here. And, you know, it's part of the people to react to those sort of action. And in 1980, this old castle in town sold a part of his land to the town so they could develop housing. And there was an association who filed the project, and finally, after court and things like that, this housing project couldn't be done. So this orchard has been just lost and left, as you're going to see. So all those facts make people here in town to understand why giving life to an old orchard which was abandoned had a real meaning. So this is a valley, and you're going to, all this valley was full of castle. There is one here, there is one here, there is one here, there is one here. And if you look this carte, this map of Cassini, which is drawn around 1750, you can see all those castles. If you look close, this is our place. I mean, this is a Chateau de Vosgien. And if you look close here, you can see the waterpiece of the castle. And here, this is a sign of the orchard. You see all these little points in all maps. But you can see there is an orchard here, there is an orchard here, there is an orchard here. There is orchard everywhere. All the valley was full of fruits. Of course, people needed to eat. No supermarket at the time. So this is the orchard in 1969. I mean, the castle is here on the left, and you can see the orchard in 1960, still cultivated. See the main alley, and it's 7,000 meters square. And you can see this green square here is where I designed a project to try to sell it to the municipality. So I wanted a bigger piece, but they said, no, we don't know you. You have to show us what you're going to do. Let's start with 1,000 meters square. But let's look at what it was in 2014. It was a forest, because it had been abandoned since 1980, because it didn't belong to the castle anymore, and it was not cultivated. So the nature came back and it became a forest. So in 2015, it has been totally, the tree has been taken out. And in 1 year, it's just a field of bramble in 2015. And that's on this land that we had a hope to do this orchard. So how to convince a municipality? Well, first thing is design. I mean, you have to we had a dream, but this dream had to be understood by the municipality. So I designed on the 1,000 meters square, an orchard with different form, different trees. Each row was drawn at a scale to make them understand what we were hoping to do. So the challenge number one it was to sell the project. So we had a few layers of administrative people in front of us, because the land belonged to the mairie, but the area was a natural area which was under charge of the region. And the top of this was a natural park who was in charge to make sure that this area was kept natural properly. So we had to deal with all those people to get through. So we finally drew a convention with those people, and you see there is regions, there is a towns, there is associations, there is a national park, the natural park, and all those people we had meetings for hours and days, and we never signed this convention until May of 2016. But I left the meetings in March, and I said, we're going to plant in March. And next week, next Saturday, we are going to plant. And everybody looked at me, and I left the room, and yes, we did plant the Saturday after. So challenge number two, you don't plant 162 trees alone. So it was a challenge number two to find people. So we had a whole communication, to ask all the people I was working with before, a different association, to get them to know the project and come to us. And this is on the left what the mairie put on her local journal to tell people, if you're interested, come. And on the right, this is our communication. And in the middle, it's the first communication of the town, who was very happy to public to show that this orchard came and has been planted. But this weekend, we had 50 people coming to plant the orchard. So we had a membership system. People could join or not the association. And each membership had access to a library online, which all the subjects about fruits, they could see that they could have all information about all the gardens. So this is the first day. We went to get all those little trees that we had grafted in August 14. And so those 160 trees were planted by volunteers. We only had on this land the poles and some of the lines, of the wire lines, but all the rest was planted because of this design that we had to follow. So this is the day of the plantation, you know, people were coming, nobody knew anybody. I mean, and just explanation, plans and things, everybody worked together. And some of those people were crying at the end of the day, how, you know, how happy they were to have been participate of such a project, you know. So welcome to the inhabitant orchard of Yvette Vallée. So we also communicate a lot in the forums, in the local forums, in the shows. There was a library show about trees, so we had a place. And this is the way we were communicate to people to get people involved in this project. What's amazing, it's all the people who came didn't know anything about trees, anything about garden trees, you know. But this is it, you know. I mean, you know that growing an orchard like this, I mean, you need to build the structure of it. It's 50% of the project. I mean, if you don't have a good structure, you don't have a nice orchard. So I teach to everybody how to use this wood, how to use this wire, how to hooks everything. And at the end, it took us at least 1 year to build all the structure of the orchard. You know, so this is people doing it, and you can see on this photo here that this was the only old tree of the old orchard. You know, it was, of course, it went too far because it was not trimmed for years, and but the thing also was to invite families, to have kids involved, to have kids looking for caterpillars. You know, the whole thing was around the trees, but a lot of other activity went with it. So this image in the middle is François Moulin, my master and teacher, who was so happy that I could, at my time, give this knowledge to other people. Every time, 2 times a year, he came to the orchard and trim the trees with us and teach us things. And that's one of the best days where everybody comes with 30 people on the orchard. So it became really a group of friends that 6 months or 1 year before didn't know each other. And that's the magic thing of the social aspect of an orchard created and doing with a group of people, you know. So that's the orchard in winter, all down, you know. You know that the orchard work is a whole year round work. So the orchard is open the Wednesday afternoon and the Sunday morning, which is good because orchards are not open to public, to volunteers on Sundays. You only have retired people, you know. But here, having it on Sunday morning, we had very different people and a mix of young to older people, with everybody bring what they knew about trees, even if it was a lot, but everything was shared. So that's some image of the orchard during the season. So after winter comes springs, and springs is a rootstock season. And so every year we buy like 300 rootstock, and this is shared to people, and people either plant them in their house, or since a few years we have nursery, the people nursery on the orchard. So they plant their rootstock on the orchard, and we all together graft those rootstocks, share the varieties. We have 250 varieties of fruits on this orchard. So everybody choose the fruits. And so then we learn how to graft to people. So this is a grafting school, everybody try. And I have a book where I write every graft done by who, so everybody know that his graft is going to grow or not, And this is different grafts that we did through the year. I mean, I'm not going to stay on those because this is not a graft school. This is a show to tell you how people work. So this is greffe à l'anglaise. So that's the spring in the orchard. So the trimming and pruning season comes. So this is the main thing, is how to learn someone who doesn't know how to do it. So this is, I put around the tree a group of people, and they have to talk together, and they don't cut anything until everybody agree what has to be cut. So the discussion, the sharing of intelligence of all those people makes that everybody is learning and teaching to anybody. So after a few years, these trees try to come up with different forms, different systems. So Odile, which is here, decided one day to invent a new thing. So she wanted to do a new shape. So there we go for a new shape in summer and we have put some pear trees on these. So of course a lot of work also of cleaning and watering, and this is which make it a full year work, So we are in a natural area. We have also this aspect of watching insects. We have been installing with blending wives. And so we have all this seasoning and observing of fruits. And of course, we always celebrate all those moments together, okay? It's one of the main things, is to be together, to celebrate together, and to decide together what we're going to do next. We also, of course, do juice with the kids and different things. So, and then the press talk about it, then you see in the local journal that the local patrimonial orchard grow, it shows that it works, and it shows that we want to do. So after 2 years, we have done the orchard on this 1,000 meters square in the left. And then we asked the mairie to get the 4,000 meters square on the right. And then we wanted to do something totally different and to create a new orchard, which was much more free, with a lot of, and to realize each dreams person talking together and do it. So we have designed it. We have been clearly clearing the area, 4,000 meters square, to get all the roots away. And then we had this clean land ready to plant. So we planted there only the trees that we have been grafted ourselves since 2 years on the nurseries. And we also go to do pruning in private gardens. People who have old gardens who don't know how to do it know that we have learned we can sell this service to private people, or we can also go to school and plant trees with the kids. This is something we do also. And this is a little celebration of the wassail. I think some English people might know what it is. I discovered it here. And after 6 years of work, all what you have seen so far is the beginning of the orchard. But no, the next photo you're going to see is what it is today. The creation of a pound, creation of wild picking area, a hut with the boys. The boys are all these old boy friends who decided to do a hut, and so on. So to go, and this is also the organization. I mean, every time we come, there is, I say what we have done, and I said exactly who came to the orchard. And you can see here that since 6 years, we had nearly 6,000 people on the orchard coming to work. I mean, 6,000 times. There is around 100 people, members of the association. And every year you have 40 people, 40% of these people who go, and 50 people are people who came. So which means there's new people every year. But what's interesting, it's out of 100 members, it's 30 people who really make the work on the site. I mean, when you deal with volunteers, you know, if you have 100 members, it's not because you have 100 people on the land to work with. So it's very interesting to follow since 3 weeks exactly who came and how all this group of volunteers moved through the years. Oh, this is all the tree we have on today. I mean, we have nearly 1,000 trees, you know, and different with 400 rootstock and probably 300 real trees growing with 250 different varieties. So this is, for example, a plan of one of the nursery. So each tree who has been grafted is written, the date and the people who has been drafting the tree is written. So it's really the history of what everybody did, which is here. So this is the orchard today. You can see all these trees who have been grown. You can see how clean it is. And this is a 4,000 meter square orchard that you have seen earlier, which was like a left ground. No, it's planted with nearly 300 trees who are growing. You know, and this is amazing because when Jacques and us designed this new orchard on the left, I mean, the dream was that from the sky we could read a tree, and today that's what we have on the Google Map thing. So, which is this is also another Jacques idea. It's we kept a wild area, a wild path where people go and pick wild fruits. And when it's hot in summer, people go here. We have meetings here. So this is all the maintenance going on and family coming, you know, during the year. And this is new grafting exercise. You see that kids wants to learn how to graft. So parents come with the kids. And I can tell you that this little girl on the left, her graft grew, and her father got a land in middle of France on a farm, and this little tree is going to grow over there. So this is picking, of course, we have a lot of gooseberry and blackberry and all sorts. So this is a happiness of picking fruits. Another idea was to have a pond, you know, natural area, trees, water, bees, you know, and there we go. We're just digging a pond. And also the oldest wall on the orchard was falling down. And one of the guy, Etienne, which was a nursery guy, during the COVID, you know, he came to me and said, well, Hervé, you know, I want to redo this wall. And I said, well, as an architect, I wouldn't tell you to do this wall. It's a huge job. But after 10 times he asked me, I say, okay, Etienne, you have a green light, you can go, you'll have 500 euro every year and go for it. And that's where we go. This wall is going to be finished after this spring, and next winter we're going to grow new fruits here. So this is in the first orchard, so fruits. And this, I added this photo because I wanted to show you to people this morning who were wondering what the interest of having this tree. See on the left, these are the vertical trees on M9 rootstock. And you can see then on 2 meter high, you can have apples growing here, and it takes little place. It's at a human access, and that's the most simple and things to do. You know, we were talking this morning also about rats. So those rats are voles, you know, and they are eating the roots of the trees end of winter. So this is a damage we go. So one of you guys said we have to plant garlic so those animals don't come. We did plant garlic, but they have been eating the roots. So this
They
is
eat the garlic, I'm sure. Hervé, we're running quite late. How much
okay.
more?
I'm quickly done. This is a nursery job. This is, of course, the apple tasting. You know, that this is what we do. And this is a new wives that we have since this year. And this is a group of people trimming together. And this is a pruning that we go and do since 3 years in a chateau. We have been restoring the whole orchard of this old chateau. And each time we go there, we're getting paid, and that's the way we get money for our orchard. So I want to tell you some words about the way we're running this. We have a college of people, which we don't have a president, right? It's a college of people who decide what we do. We always decide together. The youngest member is 13 years old. It's Matan. We have another kid who is 17, who is there all the time. You know, we're welcoming a lot of visitors. It's always open. We're making visits organized, you know, for other associations. So this, but you could read this because you will have it, is what everybody feels about it, you know. So we ask some people to say what they felt about coming. So you would maybe take time to read what all those people liked, you know, to come. Anyway, so we are a happy group of people. I mean, this orchard become really a social area where we have been very happy all together to build this project. So now we called by other people to make orchard somewhere else. So it's difficult to just duplicate a project somewhere else. I mean, a project of orchard is really something we built with the area, with the people, with the community, and it's you can't just copy a project somewhere else. So it's important to understand that each orchard is the baby of a contest. You can just copy something somewhere else. And this, what's magic about this, it's in 6 years, you know, it grows, it's nice, people come back, and it's growing because we have a lot of demand of helping other people to do it. So this is it, you know, spring is here. I look at these flowers. I think about all those European, Ukrainian flowers, Russian flowers in the orchard growing. And I really hope that the human effect of orchard is going to help all of us to have a better world. Thank you for your attention. I just wanted to show you very quickly, and just how we trim together. So this is the people together, and you see there is groups of them, and they talk.